Every once in a while, a single moment comes along that just completely redefines technology. A day where the phone in your pocket suddenly becomes something more. Well, we're about to break down one of those moments. I want you to remember this date, February 12th, 2026, because this isn't just some random day on the calendar. Nope, this is a turning point, a real pivot in the entire story of artificial intelligence. Because this is the day that the whole idea of cloud-based AI, where every single thought your phone has to travel to some faraway data center, well, that whole model just got completely upended by one single incredibly bold move. People are already calling this event the Nano-Strike. And honestly, it's the moment where the dream of an always-online AI ran smack into its biggest vulnerability. So how'd it happen? It was quiet. It was a surprise Wednesday night update. Google pushed its brand new on-device model, Gemini Nano 2, to over 1 billion Android phones. And this wasn't just another bug fix. Oh no, this was an activation. In an instant, a massive worldwide network of smart devices just woke up, totally independent of the cloud. And what exactly did this update switch on? A wild new feature called Deep Sight. The best way to think about it is like giving your phone a new pair of eyes that can see, understand, and even remember the world around them, all without needing any internet connection whatsoever. This is the birth of the local brain. And what this does, really brilliantly, is it lays bare the two competing philosophies for where AI is heading. It's this fundamental split in thinking. Should intelligence live out there, in some distant server farm, or should it live right here, in your hand? So on one side, you've got cloud intelligence. A perfect example is Apple's new smarter Siri, which is actually being powered by Google's Gemini in the cloud. You ask a question, it zips off to a server, gets processed, and the answer comes back. It's powerful for sure, but it's also got lag and it's always dependent on a connection. But on the other side, you have local intelligence, which is what DeepSight is all about. All the processing, all the thinking, it happens right there on your phone. That means it's instant, it's private from the get-go, and it works flawlessly even if you're completely off the grid. Okay, so the big question is, how is that even possible? How do you cram an AI that's powerful enough to actually see and reason into something that fits in your pocket? That really is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? For years, the story we've been told is that real, powerful AI needs these massive, warehouse-sized data centers to work. But the Nano-Strike proves that's just not true anymore. So what changed? Well, a huge part of it comes down to a major shift in the hardware itself. The cloud runs on these things called tensor processing units, or TPUs. Think of them as the giant, power-hungry engines in Google's data centers doing all the heavy lifting. But your phone? It has something much more elegant, a neural processing unit, or NPU. It's a tiny, specialized chip that's designed to do one thing and one thing only, run AI models with incredible speed and efficiency. But look, hardware is only one piece of the puzzle. The real magic trick is on the software side, with a technique called context compression. I want you to imagine trying to fit every book in the Library of Congress into a single paperback. That's pretty much what Google just pulled off. They found a way to squeeze a mind-boggling 1.2 trillion parameter logic map, that's the model's brain, into just 8 gigabytes of your phone's RAM. Just a few years ago, that was pure science fiction. And let's be super clear here. Google is not the only one chasing this dream, not by a long shot. All the big players, we're talking Apple, Samsung, Qualcomm, they are all pouring billions into their own on-device AI hardware. This isn't just one company's pet project, it's a massive industry-wide race towards local intelligence. The sheer power of these new NPUs it's almost hard to comprehend. We're not talking millions or even billions of calculations. We're talking about the ability to perform trillions of operations every single second. And the craziest part, it does all that while barely taking a sip of your phone's battery. That's the kind of raw horsepower that makes on-device AI not just possible, but actually practical for all of us. So, we've got the hardware, we've got the breakthrough software. Now let's get to the fun part and look at what this new capability, this agentic vision, actually does. How does your phone see the world in a totally new way now? The key difference here is the whole process. Old school AI vision models would basically take one quick glance at an image and then make their best guess. If they missed a tiny detail, well, too bad. DeepSight is completely different. It works in an active loop. It doesn't just look, it investigates. Let's just walk through this loop together. First, it thinks. It looks at what you asked, it looks at the image, and it makes a plan. Like, okay, to find that serial number, I need to check the bottom right corner. Then it acts. It literally runs code to crop that specific spot and zoom way in. And finally, it observes. It takes that new zoomed-in image and feeds it back to itself. See what happened? It's not guessing anymore. It's looking at visual evidence that it created for its own reasoning. A simple task like this shows you the difference perfectly. A basic vision model might just guess the pattern, but an agentic model reasons its way through it. It sees a triangle has 3 sides, a square has 4, a pentagon has 5, and it logically concludes that the next shape must have 6 sides. Now, that's a simple example, but it points to a much deeper capability, a machine that can actually reason about what it's seeing. All right, so what does all of this amazing tech actually mean for you and me? What happens when the device in your pocket is no longer just a window to the internet? The benefits are things you'll feel immediately. Zero latency means your AI assistant responds the instant you speak. No more awkward pauses. True offline capability means it works on a plane, deep in a subway, or when you're hiking in the middle of nowhere. Data minimization is a massive win for privacy. Your sensitive info never even has to leave your phone. And finally, it's just way more efficient, which means better battery life. When you step back and look at the big picture, the Nano-Strike is really redefining what our most personal device even is. Your phone is no longer just a pretty piece of glass that connects to a big brain somewhere else. The brain is now inside. It's an autonomous, intelligent partner that's with you. And this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. Is the future of intelligence going to be like electricity, a utility we just tap into from far away? Or is it becoming something way more personal, a true companion that lives with us, in our pocket, completely self-sufficient from the world around it? The Nano-Strike suggests that the answer is coming a lot faster than any of us thought.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.